disassociate yourself as quick as possible.
Yeah,
I'm not part of the gang. No, I didn't.
He used to even say, he said, like, you know, I had a wave going in terms of
Hip-hop
like
has been one big nation or Jay-Z to have him on my debut album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what?
And
I'm not scared. And so that's how we. He's a smart one of those guys in school. You just want to give him a wedgie and shit. But he's a fucking smart kid, bro.
Right.
I don't even know if all the money Lil Wayne got, the millions and millions of dollars he was spending.
And hear about some of the adversities and how they deal with it, and to give that to the culture. So that's
something.
Yeah, this number 2 right here signifies something. So
no, I said 5 years because I wrote the next, but yeah. But he talked about that Tuesday, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, I never finished the whole book. If I'm not mistaken, I wrote it like page 70. No, bro. In terms of everything, China has been very professional. They've executed everything on time. And I'm gonna tell you one more thing, bro. In terms of the procrastination, I did.
It was prominent for us. I remember being on a flight once between New York and LA. It's time to move on. So the maker of video games now doesn't have a big...
Yo, if I hit this parlay, if Democrats don't hit this parlay, it's a wrap for me.
Yeah. So I do think that for the average American that all of a sudden got like super involved.
The processing speed, the sophistication of the development, the design, you could make it.
I'm going to be paying every month for this car as long as I have my lease. Now, when you're financing a car...
When you sign up to DoorDash and you use the promo code Flavor, this is a no-brainer, okay? You're getting the exact same thing.
Okay, wait. We gotta stop the podcast. Who's fucking nerd over here?
So, it was like 1 year away when I realized I didn't want to work in corporate America. And so I decided 10 years. And I loved it. And I wasn't making...
You can turn that volume up a little bit.
Cost you 19. You lost a piece of your childhood a little bit. Even if you didn't watch the show, you knew it was on. You knew he was hosting. You knew he was mad.
Just so high that, like, I was just like, that shit don't matter to me no more. Like, I already know that's all that stuff.
So Soulja Boy was in PC?
Yes, he was in PC.
You see?
Stop it. Hey, loser. We heard you got yourself some trading cards. Yeah, what a joke. I bet he doesn't even know how to activate the Dark Luster ritual card. You would have to be a total dork to let know.
Bro, he knew.
To say goodnight
Son,
at the beginning of the show.
Wild.
We'll do it because it's a comfortable environment to be edgy. It's okay to be edgy.
Because if it's not on topic, that's not gonna happen. You're never gonna cover it. Believe in yourself. Like, these little, you know, I think most successful people are always people.
Let us make some money off you. Come on the podcast.
See, you can't be pretty with big nose, piece of shit.
From the East Coast with love, bitch. Recount the vote.
Trump. That's the cold hard truth. Yes. A lot of Puerto Ricanos I know, at least in New York, voted.
What God requires in those who rule, conduct. In other words, they've got to be fair and equitable in their governance.
Great, so you're right.
I was there when, I mean, Johnny Bibles.
I'm Greek, so I'm not gay, but if I went to jail, I could.
Some of us make it back to our cell. About 3 days later, you know the drill. Jones rolled.
That wasn't like it was on from that point.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like
At the end of his life, right when he got killed, most of the country was like, "Fuck you," because George Washington. But then somebody like a Gandhi is like, all these things are going.
Sometimes if you don't have something good to say, don't say it at all.
But the music industry is so
he was dealing with some people before I was dealing with.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know, like the system of slavery, it ran its course pretty much, and it was like it became a point where it's actually counterproductive to try to force somebody to work. But he said, like, you transition it to having, I'm paraphrasing, you have people just working just to get by. Technically, they're still slaves, because it's like you go to work and you're working, you're not being forced to work. So you're working, but you don't really have any money. All your money is going to pay bills. So it's coming back to them anyway. So now it's like you're on the hamster wheel, and that's a way more productive system than to try to force somebody to work. Yeah. So that was his whole thing. And it's interesting because that was over 150 years ago, probably. And it's still true to this day. Unfortunately, they say the average Black home has like $2,000 or something like that of net worth. So it's like you're still, maybe even
I think
that,
less.
Less than that. Yeah. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, group economics, and all that stuff, it's like extremely necessary, because if not, it's like, what kind of life are you really living?
Yeah, it's treadmill. Like I told you earlier, like, yo, when we listen to lyrics, we heard things. Like when I heard Jay say, life's like a treadmill, people running in place, getting nowhere fast, a whole year done passed. Like that's the life that you just explained.